Hello Reds, this is Tom from Reds Down Under. I'm joined by Joel this week. This is your podcast that was born in Liverpool, as we are, and made in Australia, where we are right now. This week we're going to look at that fantastic Fulham win. I mean, the performance weren't fantastic, but the result was for Liverpool. We talk about that Rio Wengamoa goal, because let's be honest, I think we all think he's the future. Andy Robertson is leaving Liverpool. We're going to get into that as well. He's had 9 years at Anfield, so we'll talk about that. We'll touch on the PSG game a little bit in this one, and we'll look ahead to our favourite Merseyside Derby memories. If you haven't already, give us a follow on all the socials, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. If you send us a message, we'll read it out on the podcast. Up the Reds.
This is the Reds Down Under podcast, the best place to follow the Reds in Australia. Enjoy the show.
We are the Reds Down Under, and this is our podcast.
Right, Joel. Mate, the Reds beat Fulham.
Yep.
It was a game that we needed to win. There was a lot of, let's just say, negativity, I think. Loads of negativity in the camp for all fans. Has that changed your feelings on things, mate? It felt like a big win.
Yeah, definitely. I think the word that springs to mind for me is relief. Like relief, obviously, after PSG through the week. It's just relief, not only to get a win, I think a clean sheet's massive as well. So yeah, definitely feel relieved. Was it a masterclass? I definitely wasn't a masterclass, but like I said, to score 2 goals, you've got Rio, the young boy, who, by the way, looks unreal. Him obviously, you know, getting his first Premier League goal at Anfield was huge. So yeah, relieved. But yeah, it wasn't nothing special. And to be honest, we should be. It feels mad to see where we're at now, because we should be beating teams at Anfield. We should be beating anyone at Anfield, let alone, you know, Fulham, a mid-table team. But yeah, relieved. What about you? Your thoughts?
I think much of the same, mate. Just relieved. Like, I got up and watched it in the morning, and I was coaching. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute.
Definitely.
So I was coaching on Sunday, but I got up and watched it, and to be honest, I didn't really care about the performance at all. I just wanted us to win the game. And as you say, like, the performance, it wasn't a masterclass, was it? But the manager changed the formation back to the sort of familiar formation after the PSG debacle. We'll talk.
I was going to say, I'd like to go on that in terms of like the formation and get what your thoughts was about the PSG formation comparison.
We'll talk about it in a sec then, because we went with the sort of the regular formation. Obviously, the players are used to it. Rio obviously had a lot of freedom on the left.
Give their right back, like Castagna for Fulham, gave him a real tough day, didn't he?
Yeah, and he's not a bad player, that Castagna. But Rio was fantastic, and he had a big part to play in the second goal for Mo Salah, and it was great to see Mo get his goal. Yeah. Because we don't know how many
more we're going to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially at Anfield, like, the crowd got to see that.
Yeah.
It was a good finish. Both of them were great finishes, weren't they?
Great finishes. It's nice to see your wide players putting the ball in the back of the net.
That's it.
And, you know, obviously it was emotional for Salah. He went off the pitch at the end, and he was emotional. But, you know, if Mo Salah he's still the present, but he also sort of represents the past a little bit. Yeah. And Rio Wengamoa,
the complete opposite end of the spectrum,
is the future, man.
Yeah, for sure.
This kid is the future, and as I say, he played a big part in the second goal. The first goal, which obviously he scored, is a moment we've seen from another Liverpool player a million times, and it doesn't always come off. Cody Gakpo.
Cutting in on your right foot.
Cutting in on the old right foot, but you know, the goal was fantastic, and he won man of the match or player as the match as they call it, and you know, it didn't flatter him. He was absolutely fantastic.
He's everything that we want to see as Liverpool fans. We just want to see a bit of like, you know, obviously it makes me think of like the peak Klopp era, you know, Mane, Firmino, Salah, just counter-attacking football, just really electric. Obviously he's youthful, he's full of energy, he's got that, what young players have, that like no fear factor, you know, just goes in, runs at defenders. And obviously I'm thinking of like a player like Castagna, who's very experienced, and he must obviously just be thinking, fuck, I'm getting terrored by a kid, like an actual child.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, look, there wouldn't be many right backs in the world who'd fancy it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we could see in the game, Liverpool got the ball out to him as much as possible. Obviously, Andy Robertson, who we'll talk about shortly, played one of his last games for Liverpool, and he was brilliant because so I think sometimes Kerkers, he's still learning.
Raw, isn't he? Very raw.
He's raw, and sometimes he overlaps in the space where Rio needs to be. But Andy Robertson wasn't like that at all. Andy Robertson sort of just sat off, didn't he, a little bit, and made the odd run. And actually sometimes Andy Robertson picked up the ball in the middle of the penalty area rather than on the wing, and really just letting Rio go. Look, it wasn't fantastic. It was nice to get a clean sheet.
Yeah. Great. To be honest as well, like, we haven't been getting that sort of look. Because I don't think the scoreline, not that it flatters us, but obviously this season we've seen similar games like that, and we always seem to like cop a goal, concede it. And to be fair, they had a couple of chances that I genuinely, there was one from a corner. I think it was Munoz, their striker. Like, it was a free header. No one was marking him. Should have done better. And then there was also a ball that come in from their left into the box, and it was Emile Smith-Rowe. Should have scored. I think he should have scored that as well. So I mean, like I said, they did have chances, and they should have done better. So, but like you said, you'll take a clean sheet all day.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, mate, is, you know, last season we won the league at a canter, and we did concede chances then as well.
Yeah.
And you're always going to concede chances in the Premier League. The difference this season has been they've been going in, and we haven't been scoring goals.
Enough, yeah.
And we'll talk about the formation in a sec, but one thing I did want to talk about was Isak. He got another 20 odd minutes, didn't he? But to me, I was just buzzing because Ekitike, he's a really good footballer, and he's sort of gone off the boil a little bit, but he's played a lot of football.
Yes.
But he likes to sort of find that left channel a lot. And even in the minutes that Isak played, he was on the pitch, he was running between the goalposts.
Yeah.
You know, he is in the middle, and there was a moment Gakpo cut in, and Gakpo had a shot, we got a corner, and another player, Vert probably, would have looked up and just slotted in Isak.
Is this the one from the Salah ball? Salah played with his right foot, and Isak had made a good run, and it ended up with Gakpo, and then Isak screaming at him as well for it.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think like Ekitike is really good. He's still learning, but when you look at Isak, he is in that exact area where if there's a quality ball in, he will score goals.
He's a proper number 9, isn't he? He's a proper striker, which is obviously what we signed him for, spent that much money for. And I know it sort of like hurts me thinking about it, to be honest, like, because as much as like people will give him a bit of like grief or whatever, we all know how good he is. Do you know what I mean? And obviously it's unfortunate that he's been injured or whatever, or it's took him a while to get going, but I think he's obviously one for the future in the sense that we've spent that much money on him. He's not going anywhere. I don't know how big his deal was, but he's here anyway for the next few years. He's still in his prime years. So, yeah, hopefully you get himself fit, get some goals, get some confidence, and then obviously take that into the new season.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're gonna do is we normally only do countdown to kick off for the Premier League games, but we're gonna do one at the end of this episode. But it won't be in this episode. It'll be its own thing. So we will talk about PSG in more detail.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that then, because you were talking about the formation that we played in Paris. Obviously, we went back to the sort of the normal way of playing, didn't we, against Fulham? What was the big differences for you, mate? Like how?
I don't. So for me, I think Slot's in an awkward situation at the minute, where no matter what he does, if we don't win, he's gonna get like the blame for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, had it have worked, or had we have come away with something in Paris, everyone would have been raving on, oh, what a brave decision. And I do think managers, look, I'm not defending Slot in any way. I'm just saying, I think sometimes football fans, and you know what I mean, we are on people, like you're on people if they do one decision, you're on people if it's like a lose-lose for Slot. You know, had he have kept the same formation, look, personally, I think no matter what formation he'd have played, we'd have got beat, like away. Like honestly, these guys, this PSG team are something else, man. Like, they're scary, and it was the same last season as well. Even though we nicked the goal, was it Nunes to Elliott? The even though we nicked the goal, it was still, they were all over us. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I actually think it was quite brave of him to try something different. A lot of arguments of that. Oh, why is he using a formation that they wouldn't have like tried before? How do we know they haven't tried before? How do we know they haven't worked on that in training? Like, before now? And also, these players are professional football players who I'm sure have played in a back five or whatever it was before, you know, and these are professional enough to be able to carry out a job what a manager's asked of them over a few days. So I think he was brave to do it. I don't know if it worked out or not, because I don't know what people were expecting. You know, I actually think, like, in hindsight, 2-0's not actually a bad score to come away from Paris with, considering it could have been 4, 5, 6, do you know what I mean, on another day.
Yeah. The fact that we didn't win the game, you know, like, mate, we, as you say, like, we could have got beat 5-6-0.
Yeah, easily.
We really could have done. I'd never have a problem with the manager trying different things, because he has done different things in his time. He's played a diamond, 4-4-2. Yeah. He's tried different things at different times, and with varying success. So I wouldn't criticise the manager for going there, because when I first looked at it, when I turned the telly on, and I looked at the formation that they put up, I was like, And then we started playing, and it really was like it was a 5-5-2-3, or even a 5-2-2-1, or whatever it was. But I looked
5-2-3, yeah.
Yeah, but then even you had Ekitike centre forward, and then 2 of your 3 were Verts and Szoboszlai. Don't get me wrong, good players, but they're not going to, you know, they're not necessarily quick players. They're not, you know, they're not going to, you know, do a couple of step overs and get in the box like young Rio would. But I looked at it and I thought, okay, you know, the gaffer, he's done something here.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a massive error from the manager.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think so, man. Like, there was moments where it was just bizarre. Like, there was multiple moments where Ka-Fey, who was part of the back three, was pressing their centre back.
Yeah, their centre back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because of how fluid they are as a team. Like, you've seen Hakimi ends up on the other side of the pitch, up top, rather than as right back. He'll end up left wing. So they're just such a good team, such a hard team to mark, because there's no real set positioning for their players. They just move. Dembele's meant to be centre forward and ends up, you know, CDM at some point, coming to get the ball, and people overlap him. So it is a very hard style of play to mark and to counter.
And I know, I completely get what you're saying, because you didn't know which one of the front three was going to be where. You didn't know where Hakimi was going to be. But Kanate was pressing their centre back in a centre back position.
Yeah.
Like, and to me, it was obviously coached that way. The manager wanted to take a player out of defence and try and press them in that area of the field. But it was just wild. It was wild, man. But, the kudos I will give to the manager is, we came away from the City game and he went, fuck this, I've got to do something different here.
And that's what I'm saying in terms of, like, he had to try something. We've gone on just being beat 4-0. He could have quite easily gone in that game, changed nothing, and then got smoked again, and then people would have been complaining, well, actually, he didn't do anything. So I'm not saying it was the right decision. I'm just saying fair play to him for being brave and trying something else. Yeah.
Yeah, no, look,
They had a very good team, and I genuinely think we would have got beat anyway.
Yeah.
So...
And look, and the thing is as well is, I don't agree with the way we set up, but I really appreciate the manager doing it, because the manager at the minute hasn't got a lot of credit in the bank, and he could have just gone, I'm going to play my way, and if it doesn't go through, like, that would have been the safe thing to do, I think.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He sort of rolled the dice a little bit. And when we do countdown to kick off, we'll have a good talk about how Liverpool are going to play. But we beat Fulham, and that was a great win. And obviously the top 5 is now going to be the Champions League for next season.
Yeah, that's confirmed now. Yeah.
I think we're 4 points clear in 5th. Chelsea got beat by
Chelsea
City.
Getting beat, yeah.
Chelsea were terrible, by the way. I watched the game.
Did you watch it? Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
I've seen the highlights.
No, I seen the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game.
Can't be getting up to watch other teams.
Yeah.
It's hard enough watching your own team.
Yeah. But I did watch the extended highlights.
Yeah.
Mate, Andy Robertson leaves Liverpool after 9 years, over 370 appearances. He's won 2 Premier League titles, a Champions League, 1 FA Cup, 2 League Cups, 1 European Super Cup, and 1 Club World Cup. He was in UEFA Team of the Year 2019, as well as the PFA Team of the Year that year. What a player, man.
What a player. Yeah. It's sad, isn't it? It's sad, but I suppose, like, an end of an era always happens at some point. Obviously, you've got 2 of Liverpool's, or our most recent sort of success. You've got 2 very vital players in Klopp's successful Liverpool squad, and these are 2 more pieces of it leaving. So it's sad to see, but also, like, I'm that type of sort of fan or person that sort of, like, expect it. It was bound to happen at this time, and it's probably the right time as well.
Yeah, I think it is the right time. I think it's the right time because he's still got enough in the legs.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, the right time for him in terms of, like, clearly he's not going to be first choice. And I just think in order for him to, before he's ready to pack it in, gives him a chance to potentially, I don't know where he's going to go. I know there's talks of Spurs, obviously depending on how they go. I'm pretty sure he won't be playing for Spurs in the Championship, I'd imagine, but, like, there's a chance for him to still go to the team and be, get a couple of seasons as number 1, or part of a team, and a new experience as a player. I know for myself, I'd love to, you've got players that are like a one team player, and fair play to them, like, you love it. We love the Gerrards and those sort of players, but I know as a player, if you're not from that city or whatever, it would be good to go and experience, playing for different clubs and different leagues, maybe different countries. So I've seen it. I've just literally seen a meme or meme, whatever you call it, of Robbo, and it was saying, it was like Napoli fans. It was like a meme saying, like, they're celebrating when Andy Robertson goes to Napoli, and then becomes the best left back in Serie A. You know the way like players have gone to Napoli and they're just killing it.
Yeah, McTominay went, didn't
McTominay.
he? And he looks world class there.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Well, how's McTominay gone from like a poor United side, gone to Serie A and won? He won Player of the Season. I think he won Serie A Player of the Season, Napoli Player of the Season, scored about 10 plus goals. So yeah, maybe that could be a good shout for Robbo. I know Vardy's gone to Serie A.
Has he?
Yeah, Vardy's playing for. I don't know why I was going to say Cremorne. Cremorne.
Cremorne, yeah.
He's gone to.
Como?
No, definitely not Como. That's Fabregas' team. He's gone to. I swear, Cremorne. I know that's a suburb in Sydney.
It might. Well, Cremorne might be named after somewhere in Italy, mightn't it? But yeah, I think he's definitely still got the legs for the Premier League. He could definitely do a job for someone. I think Spurs would have been a good move for him, but guess what, folks? I think they're going to go down.
They might too, you know.
I think they're going to.
Cremonese.
Cremonese.
I was close.
Yeah. So, you know, he could go to Spurs. He could go to like Celtic and go and do that because he's nice. A Celtic fan.
Yeah, that'd be a nice club for him to go to. Like, obviously being Scottish, go to the Scottish League, you know, end your career there. Like, still be one of the main boys.
Yeah.
And that's what you want anyway. I want, you know, for these players that have give so much to the club, and being a part in like our recent success. You know, you want them to end their career. So, and that's why I say like, it's the right time. You know, like people might be like, oh, but we want to keep him in the same with Salah or whatever. Like, but like at the end of the day, you want to end your career on a high, I think, and that's why I think sometimes that it's the perfect time to go. Same with Salah.
Yeah, I think there is room for sentiment in football. I think sometimes I'm a little bit cutthroat with players. Like, you know, when Salah, it was announced he was going, right? I know a lot of fans had like a really emotional response. I was like, okay, he's gone.
See, I'm like that.
Right?
I'm very cutthroat.
You know, like, he's gone. All right, I'll enjoy him while he's here, but he's gone.
Yeah.
Like, my days of like crying over a footballer have long gone. You know, Michael Owen broke my heart. Torres broke my heart. Suarez, you know what I mean? And I was like, no, that's it now. Coutinho went, I went 130 million.
Yeah, happy days.
You know, and that's just the way I think about it now.
I've always been like that, to be honest. I do have a bit of sentiment for certain players. You have your favourite players. Like for me, Sadio Mane is like me. I was absolutely gutted when he went. I was also gutted when Wijnaldum went. I was like, why didn't you just give him the money? I loved Wijnaldum.
But by the way,
go on.
That was a really good decision, the Wijnaldum one.
Do you think in the end?
Well, he went to PSG and he was shy.
No, I know. But some players like just suit a certain club, you know. Yeah, I get what you're saying, but just because he went to PSG and wasn't a success doesn't mean like he still couldn't have carried on, like, and being good for us. And sometimes I think like, I'll just give him the extra year contract and a little extra bit of money. Like I'm thinking the same now about Diaz. What's your thoughts on Diaz? Like I'm actually like, I didn't like him leaving at the time, but now now in hindsight I'm like, oh my God, why would they not just give him extra money? I think
we miss him. I think we miss him. I think the club undervalued how much he gave to the team. But, you know, when he went, and I'm still in the same boat now. Love Luis Diaz, love his attitude, love his work rate, love his skill. But do I think he was top class? No, I don't.
No, and I didn't, because it probably like last season, I'd have probably been screaming at the telly like, oh, how have you missed that? Or yeah, he wasn't clinical, and sometimes his decision making wasn't great. But I think one thing we've missed this season is that passion, that energy, that, like you said, work rate. Even like, look, I'm not going to go there because I couldn't stand Nunes, but like even that captain chaos, just work rate, just getting stuck in. Like which is what we've lacked this season. And that's the thing this season that's sort of upset me the most. It's sometimes I look at this team and I'm just disappointed. I'm just disappointed in the attitude and some of the sort of like off the ball stuff that's going on, and just sort of players' attitudes. I don't know. So obviously these players like Diaz and Wijnaldum we talk about were just great workhorses, and just because like I watched another like Liverpool podcast or whatever recently.
You watch another podcast?
Sorry guys.
What are you on about?
But they were talking about like obviously now we've got technically players that are technically better than the likes of Milner and the likes of Hendo and that. But what you know Hendo and Milner lacked in technical ability or raw ability is like they had in heart, they had in passion, they had in leadership, they had in, you know, winning mentality. And obviously these are all things that we've lacked this season. So I know I constantly go off topic, but just that's what angers me anyway this season.
No, you're bob on. You are bob on. It's hard to argue with you, lad. But yeah, Andy Robertson, definitely one of the good lads. The good lads who you're talking about there, Milner, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Diaz, these are good lads who you want in your squad. And Andy Robertson's there. And to sort of end on the Robbo chat, you know, the moment I fell in love with him, we were playing Man City at Anfield.
Sorry, I knew you, because I just written that down there myself. I swear. I know what you're going to say, go on.
That moment.
Where he just presses.
He presses and then presses. Yeah. And then he keeps running, and City keep playing the ball further and further back, and he just went bang, bang, bang. And
he ends up giving a foul away, I think, in the end, but it's
on the other side of the pitch,
right wing.
And the crowd, every time City passed the ball, the noise got louder and louder and louder. Like an aeroplane taking off, it just got louder and louder and louder. And that moment, I was like, this guy's got it. And the thing was as well, Joel, there was the alternative at the time was Moreno, and Robbo came in but couldn't play because Moreno was doing really well. And then Moreno got an injury. Robbo came in against City. I think he played the week before, but then he played City, and he was brilliant. And it was like, this lad is Liverpool.
Oh no, so it's funny that you say that, because obviously when you mentioned Robbo, to me that is like the epitome of Andy Robertson, but also like that's the epitome of like the Liverpool that I expect to see as a Liverpool fan, and that like does epitomise it, like just passion, work rate, you know, the fans are getting behind you. So yeah, obviously he will be a big miss, you know, but all the best to him. I hope he ends up at a club that'll give him a good couple of years to go and enjoy himself.
Absolutely. Liverpool play Everton in the Merseyside Derby, and it's the first one at the Hill Dickinson Stadium, which, by the way, is the worst name.
Terrible name.
Terrible name.
Shocking name.
And you know what? I have to say, before we get into this derby stuff, because obviously we're both from Liverpool, love the derby. I always loved going to Goodison Park. It was one of my favourite places to go and watch football.
With all the pillars in the way.
Yeah, you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And the pitch had this like big curve on it. So once I was sat on one side of the pitch in the family enclosure, and you couldn't see the other touchline. Yeah. Because it had this like big mound in the middle of the pitch. Always loved Goodison Park. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but one of me, like, so I would have been like 11, I think. So like proper like match going memories. Yeah. It was with me dad. We were in the park end at Goodison in the home end, and we beat them 3-2. Gary McAllister scored that like 40-yard free kick, and it was just boss. It was so like Fowler missed the penalty and stuff. But we were in the Everton end, and you know, I was only a kid. I was with my half fella, and my half fella's coughing all sorts of shit from these Everton fans.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it'd be like to be in the Everton end.
Oh, I've done it a couple of times. This time, as in the park end, I've done the family enclosure, which is a bit different because it's a bit soft.
Yeah.
But we're getting loads of shit, and McAllister scores, and obviously me and my dad are going bonkers, and these Everton fans are going mad. And the next thing out of nowhere stands up this colossus fella. Like, I'm not joking, this fella must have been, well, I was little, so he felt.
He probably was like 5'9".
Yeah. He felt like 7'5", this fella, and he stood up like that. He was massive. You know, when you see them, like, you know, when kangaroos go to have a fight and they do that pose.
Extended.
Yeah, he was like this big, bald fucking fella stood up. And he goes, "You all right, Dave?" And my dad goes, "Oh, all right, mate, you all right?" And he goes, "Yeah, is everything all right?" And my dad's like, yeah, all good. And everyone just shut the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
And my dad knew him. And he obviously just seen the bit of commotion. And was like, "Oh, there's Dave."
I'll back him.
I mean, like, my dad probably would have got his head kicked in, like, that day. But yeah, Goodison Park was great to be playing this rather nice and attractive stadium, but no Goodison Park, mate.
The just talking about like Goodison Park, like your first memory of Goodison Park. This is sort of not related to the derby, but my very first time at Goodison Park was I was actually there for, you know, the famous Wayne Rooney goal on his debut against Arsenal, screamer. Yeah, that was just a random sort of point here, but
That must have been bouncing, eh?
yeah, unreal goal. Yeah, against Arsenal, against Seaman. What year? 2002?
Yeah, 3, yeah.
02-03 season. Yeah, on his debut, yeah, absolute like screamer. So that's my first memory, and I would have been in. Basically, the story behind that is just my cousin, my family. Some of them support Arsenal, so they were going Everton vs Arsenal and invited me. So yeah, that's my first memory of Goodison Park, anyways. But yeah, proper old school stadium. And then obviously they've moved to the new one now, which to be honest is nice looking.
It's a nice looking stadium. It really is. Yeah, that Rooney goal. Remember the name Wayne Rooney was the commentary.
Yeah.
And we haven't got rid of him since, have we, Wazza? But mate, massive game against Everton. It's always a big game. Obviously, we beat them earlier in the season. Like, just tell people, growing up, being a Scouser, being in the city, obviously you've got two big clubs there.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether people here in Australia will really like understand how big Everton are. Because even
in
when
the city, you mean?
Well, they are in the city.
Yeah, they are in the city.
They are a historic club.
Historical, yeah.
You know, so like, what's it like around Derby Day in the city, mate?
It's just a buzz, isn't it? It's just a buzz. Because obviously, yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, like you said, Aussies wouldn't really understand it. You can't compare it to like the Wanderers and Sydney FC. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is historically one of the closest. I don't. It's not obviously not now. But the two closest grounds for rival teams in the same league. I think the closest now is. Here's my random fact again. I think the closest now, or one of them, is PSG and Paris FC in League One.
Yeah, and Dundee and Dundee United are close as well.
Yeah, I know. Literally, Paris FC and Paris Saint-Germain's like there's a road in between. But obviously, Goodison and Anfield super close, and obviously the city as well. Like, look, we'll be honest, the city. I know just as many people who are Evertonians as Liverpool fans, so that's good. It's good. The never gets out of hand, does it? Well, it hasn't for me, but the banter's brilliant. And it has been. It's great being a Liverpool fan over the years as well, having some success, and obviously Everton haven't had any success. It's just a good buzz, you know. And obviously, like recent sort of results or history, like we've got the better of them, so it's always good having a better hand, but. I don't know how I feel about this game. I'm not. Liverpool this season have just put me in a position where I'm just never confident. I'm just honestly.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me the derby's always one of them things as well. I always expect us to win the derby, but I am always nervous about it because to lose this game, when you're living in a city and you lose this game, the next week is just shit, right? Because every Blue Nose is looking for a Liverpool fan to wind up all week
in work or whatever.
Yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, like our banner, Liverpool's banner, like, imagine being us.
Yeah.
Like, we're insufferable is the word, right? We're insufferable, right? Because, like, we're more than happy to just celebrate our successes and you never hear the end of it, right? And maybe it's the Scouseness in us, but Everton fans are they're the same, man. Like, they'll, you know what I mean? They go on about it, and it's exactly the same as Liverpool fans.
Yeah.
The only difference is that when we beat Everton, we forget it the next week, but they hold it.
And I was about to say that. I think as well for Blue Noses, it's like them beating us is huge. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, in our sort of generation of supporting Liverpool, like, we've experienced numerous successes. Everton's last trophy, 95 FA Cup. Would I be right? I'm pretty sure they haven't won anything since then. So obviously, like, they haven't had much to rave about. So obviously, when they beat us, it's huge for them. Whereas for us, it's just another game. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough game for sure, because it's obviously the players themselves, the club drills it into them, like how important it is. So they do. You know what they're like as well? Like, they'll literally be having terrible results, and they'll play against us to turn up like prime PSG. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them. So for them to get bragging rights over us, it feels good for them.
I've seen some good Everton teams, but none of them will ever play like that prime PSG, mate. Because that PSG team are one of the best I've ever seen.
No, they are. They're good.
But look, derby game, mate. It's absolutely massive, and Harry and I'll do a proper in-depth look at that game on countdown to kick off. Before we move on from it, though, what's your favourite derby memories?
Favourite or just sort of most memorable? I was at Anfield in 2018 for that Divock Origi goal.
Yeah, me too.
Was you there? Yeah. 96th minute, crazy goal. Where Pickford T-Rex arms off the bar. Divock Origi, my least favourite player, but always got a few clutch goals like that. So that's sort of like the one that sticks with me in recent history. My sort of first, I don't know, this is super random. When you mentioned that we were going to talk about the derby, I've written down here, Nicolas Anelka scoring his first goal for Liverpool.
Oh yeah, that was in the derby, was it?
In a derby, a 1-1 draw.
God,
I think they were beating us, and Nicolas Anelka scored his first goal for us, yeah. And I don't know why that springs to mind. It's just, I loved Nicolas Anelka, so random. I think he only scored a handful of goals for us, and he was only there for a short while. But I just remember his first goal, if my brain serves me right, was against Everton in the derby.
Yeah. You know what? Nicolas Anelka, that's one of the worst bit of businesses Liverpool Football Club has ever done, was letting Anelka go because they had the chance to sign him.
And you know who they signed after?
And he signed El Hadji Diouf.
That's the bit that hurts. It's the you could have got Nicolas Anelka, who, as much as he's like a club slag or whatever, and he's been at everyone, like Nicolas Anelka, like prime Nicolas Anelka is a top football player. And you've let him go, and El Hadji Diouf is who they got in.
Absolute shocker.
So yeah.
One of my favourite derby memories, away, John Arnorisa ran down the wing and fucking smashed it in.
A Risa classic.
A proper Risa classic, yeah. Proper great goal. Gary McAllister, great goal. Obviously Origi was top notch. The last kick of the game, Mane winner, when the ball came back off the post, and he tapped it in. Derby's are special things,
Yeah.
and it will be tough for Liverpool with PSG this week as well.
In between, yeah.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that on Countdown to Kickoff next week. I think we've came to sort of a natural conclusion, Joel.
Yeah.
I just want to do some thank yous.
Go for it.
Thank you to our venue partners, Cheers Bar in Sydney. By the way, I'm just saying it, I'm going to be there for PSG,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm going to go to Derby,
Very nice.
should you fancy it.
Yeah.
And if anyone else fancies it, come and say hello. I know I got a couple of messages of people.
What time's PSG?
5 o'clock.
Good on you, though. Good on you.
Yeah, get up early, do that, do a work day, have an early night. That's the plan. So thank you to Cheers Bar, they've been great with us. Thank you to Ka-Fey in Newcastle, who have been equally great. If you want a coffee in Newcastle, it's definitely the place to go. And the Newcastle Supporters Club are up there. The Liverpool Newcastle Supporters Club are up there. Thank you to Fields of Anfield Roadside. Get your match day blogs and all that sort of stuff. They're great, and they've been great with us, and you can find our podcast on there. And of course, the L Files, Wayno, who's part of our team.
Yeah, Wayne.
Yeah, great lad.
Top fella.
He brings our average age up by about 20 years, but he's an absolutely lovely bloke.
He's a good fella, and his football knowledge and IQ's top, isn't it?
Oh, like the stuff he's forgotten about football is more than I'll ever know. Like, this guy really knows his gravy. So thank you to them. You can get all your good news sources there for Liverpool Football Club, and you can get your official merch through them. And if you do get official merch through them, he gets a couple of pennies from it. Yeah.
So make sure you do.
So do
Make sure
that.
you get it from them.
Yeah. Don't go to Rebel Sport, will you? And the last thing I'd like to say, Joel, is mental health's really important to us, and sometimes when you're having a really bad time, and people might call you, and you don't want to pick up the phone, you don't want to have a full thing with them. But sometimes if someone just messages you and say, "All right, mate, how's it going?" or "What do you think of the Reds?" It just starts a conversation and opens a dialogue. So what I ask is that when people finish watching or listening to the podcast, that they do that. They just send a mate a message.
Just check in.
Check in, man. Check in. I get like 6 messages a morning off Joel, and he's just checking in, man. He's just checking in.
What about my voice notes? The 10-minute voice notes that you don't listen to?
I do listen to them. Joel, by the way, right? One of my pet hates is voice notes, and Joel will send like 3 5-minute voice notes, and then I've got to listen to them, and I've got to listen to them with a notepad. Right?
And then he'll reply, and just be like, "Oh mate, can you text me instead?" I'm like, "I can't. I'm driving."
But it's nice he thinks of us when he's driving. So by the time this podcast comes out, there will be a Countdown to Kickoff, a match day preview for PSG. Please, Liverpool, find a miracle in your back pocket somewhere, because that's exactly what we need.
No, we do.
We do. And we'll do another Countdown to Kickoff preview for the Merseyside Derby, where we'll look a bit more into
Detail,
how Liverpool are going to set up, how Everton are going to set up, and where the game could be won and lost. Thanks for coming on, mate. How'd you find it?
All right? Good. Love it. Yeah.
Good, man. Well, Joel's going to be coming on more and more often now. He has officially joined the team, which we're buzzing about. So Joel will be here much more often.
Yeah.
Up the Reds.
Up the Reds.